A rude cafe manager yells at a new mother breastfeeding her crying baby in his eatery until customers intervene and decide to take the matter into their own hands. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video with your friends. Sandra couldn't wait to eat some delicious food and unwind. She hadn't had much time for herself since becoming a mother to Benedict. Motherhood, after all, can be exhausting at times. So Sandra was as excited as a child when she walked into the cafe down the street and ordered a cheeseburger with a side of fries and a Diet Coke. She thought she would relax and devour her meal while Benedict slept in the stroller beside her. "Your baby is adorable, ma'am," the waitress commented as she brought Sandra's order. "What's his name?" "Thank you," said Sandra. "He's Benedict. He's very cute." The waitress smiled as she left. "Enjoy your meal." While listening to good old 90s music playing at the cafe, Sandra was totally engrossed in her meal. That was until she finished her cheeseburger and heard a gurgle next to her before she could even taste the fries. Sandra noticed Benedict was agitated in the stroller, and soon he was up and crying. "Oh, no, you're fine. Not right now, honey," she sighed as she crooned to him. Sandra checked his diaper, and it seemed okay. So the new mother scooped her baby into her arms and began rocking him while pacing near her table. "Benedict, see, baby, those are birdies outside, and there are trees. Calm down, honey." Minutes passed, but Benedict wouldn't seem to quiet down. That meant he was hungry. Sandra gently returned to her seat, covered herself with the blanket she carried for Benedict, and began feeding the infant. "Poor thing, he must have been starving," she thought to herself. While Sandra was breastfeeding her baby, she suddenly heard a harsh sound behind her. "Is that lady breastfeeding in public? Is she doing that in my cafe?" The manager, Mr. Scottliff, couldn't keep his cool after seeing Sandra breastfeeding her baby boy. "You're a disgrace as a woman!" "Who does that in public?" he yelled as he appeared in front of her. "Sir, calm down," she said. "You're yelling for no reason. My baby was hungry." He smirked. "Ma'am," he said, "this is my goddamn cafe, and I set the rules here. You need to leave right now. What you're doing is disgusting." Mr. Scottliff's snide remarks were enough to infuriate Sandra. What he didn't realize was that the customers would soon give him a taste of his own medicine. "So," a woman at the table next to Sandra said, "didn't your mother feed you? What's wrong with a mother nursing her child?" "I agree," another man said. "I don't see what's wrong with that. And no, that's not disgusting. I am a father of 2 boys, and my wife has breastfed our children in public places before. Look, sir, first, breastfeeding is not something gross. And second, she's aware she's in a public place. That's why she covered herself." "Exactly," added another woman. "I don't see anything wrong in what she's doing. Her baby was hungry. Would you leave your child crying and hungry? If you would, you're not even human." Soon after, other people joined to support Sandra, who was grateful to the kind customers for stepping in. The cafe was a small eatery, and it was mostly frequented by locals. Customers threatened to stop coming to the cafe and warned Mr. Scottliff that they would complain to the owner and have him fired. What they didn't see coming was the cafe's owner reaction when he learned about the incident. "Rules are rules," he said. "We can't change them for one person. And technically, this place is mine, so I make the rules. Please, ma'am," he said to Sandra. "You better leave, and we'd appreciate it if you refrain from nursing your baby at my cafe. This is for all new moms visiting our eatery." "Well then, sir," said one of the customers, "you better change the rules, or you'll be the only one dining here. I'm leaving." "I bet this place isn't anything good, except that it's close to my home. So, I choose to walk out too. Good luck!" Some customers left the cafe while Sandra was still feeding Benedict, and those who didn't leave right away did so after her. "Life's a circle, gentlemen," Sandra said to the owner and manager as she was leaving. "You were unnecessarily mean to me, and you'll regret it someday." The manager chuckled, shrugging Sandra's remarks off, and the owner didn't pay much heed to what she said either. Consumed in their arrogance, the 2 men were glad they kicked Sandra out and didn't fall for the customers' threats. A week later, they regretted that. The number of customers dropped significantly. That continued the next week and the next. And soon, the cafe was struggling. What's going on, Darren?" The owner, Mr. Rhodes, was furious at Mr. Scottliff. "Why are customers simply disappearing? We're barely making any sales. At this rate, we'll be bankrupt." Well, sir," said the terrified manager, It's probably due to that woman. That woman? Remember the incident a few weeks ago, sir? I've heard that people are avoiding our cafe as a result of how we treated her. You must be insane to think that one woman can have such an impact. Go and work on getting customers. Stop staring at me and get some work done for God's sake. As Mr. Scottliff left, Mr. Rhodes paced across his office in anger, wondering if his manager was right. It was true that after the incident, their customers did decrease. No, I still don't believe that. That would be insane, he thought. But after another week passed with negligible sales, Mr. Rhodes realized he was wrong. He needed to change his rules if he wanted to save the business. He asked around the neighborhood for the woman's address and decided to pay her a visit and apologize. He would tell her he was wrong and change the rules. "I'm sorry," he said when she opened the door. "Can you please let go of what happened last time?" "If I'm not wrong," he nodded, "I'm the owner of the cafe you visited a few weeks ago. I've come to apologize to you and inform you that our policies have changed. We lost customers as a result of what happened a few weeks ago, and I'd like to make amends." Sandra had a big heart, so he forgave Mr. Rhodes, who later put a sign outside his cafe saying the policies had been changed and that he had apologized to Sandra for his rudeness. Soon, his cafe started receiving customers again, and one of them was Sandra.